Today we have a brand new trail shoe from the brand Diadora. It's the Equipe Sestriere XT. It's the Equipe Sestriere XT. I'm sure I'm pronouncing it wrong. Public school education, you're just gonna have to bear with me. This came out in summer of 2023. Just a couple of the nitty gritty stuff that we want to get into. This shoe has a 5mm drop. It weighs 8.7 ounces on the women and 10.7 ounces on the men. It has a very bouncy responsive midsole made from their Anima midsole material and has a special Duratec 5000 wear resistant outsole rubber that they use. Okay, so what does all that mean? This is a really fun bouncy trail shoe. It's a little on the heavy side, so I was trying to compare this to some other models in my head to get a sense of what that means. Because honestly, for most of the people, when I say a shoe weighs 10.7 ounces, what does that necessarily mean? Well, compared to like another popular trail shoe out there, like the Hoka Speed Goat, for example, it's like a ½ ounce heavier, which is pretty substantial. And honestly, when I picked it up out of the box, that was the first thing I noticed was this shoe kind of feels a little heavier than I was hoping for a shoe that's billed as more of a responsive trail ride. It also, quite honestly, it just looks different from a lot of trail shoes out there. And I know that's sort of Diadora's thing. Obviously, they're a very premium Italian brand and they kind of do things their own way. But when I looked at it, it almost looked a little too artsy-fartsy for like a nice premium trail shoe. And I almost hated getting it dirty because it looks so nice. And that's actually how I feel on a lot of the Diadora stuff that I have running. It's like there's almost a guilt when you take it out of the box and scuzz it up because it just looks so nice when you first look at it. And when I was heading off to the trail, that's sort of how I felt. I only got to try this recently, and I've had this shoe in my collection. I just hadn't had a chance to get it out. We had some bad weather here, and it was delaying my opportunity to go out and really put it through its paces. And I kind of was up against it with the clock getting ready for this review, and I sort of begrudgingly went off to the trail yesterday. And it's one of those days, and we've all been there as runners and walkers out there, where you just was sort of in that slog, you know? I mean, not every run is gonna be bright and bon vivant, and I just didn't have that get up and go desire to go to the trail. And putting on a brand new shoes, while a lot of times that's fun, there's always it might be a bad run, I don't know how it's gonna be, I just don't know how it's gonna perform. So there's always that, not necessarily excitement sometimes, but trepidation trying something new. And I put this shoe on, it felt a little heavy, and I noticed a couple little things. The laces were super long, the tongue was a little bunchy, and my expectations were kind of low. Let's just put it that way. I had such a fun, tremendous run in this shoe. It performed excellent. I ran through a bunch of different terrains. This loop that I did to try this shoe out had some heavy rocks, some big trail stuff, some really technical areas, some stream crossing. I mean, really, anything you'd really gonna find in a trail, we kind of were able to put this shoe through its paces, and it performed very well. One of the things I think I was most impressed with was how great this performed really bombing downhill. If you look at the outsole pattern that they used on here, it's very unique, and quite honestly, they were trying to find a material and even a directional lug pattern that sort of mimics what you would find on some of the billy goats that you see scrambling up mountains in Italy. That was sort of their design with this unique diamond pattern on it. So I was kind of interested to see how it would perform on that because it's not a Vibram outsole, it's their own proprietary outsole, and it has some lugs to it, but it didn't look all that crazy technical. But wow, did it do a great job going up and really going down. Went right through some streams in it, foot felt great immediately after. My time on this loop, and I really wasn't expecting a whole lot, was spectacular for how little energy I felt like I was putting in because the shoe felt so fast, responsive, and comfortable. The things that I was concerned about putting on, like I mentioned, sort of the burrito tongue I was getting, I felt like it was getting all folded up on me. Didn't notice it one bit when I was running. The super long laces, I marathon looped it, felt great the whole way, didn't think about it the whole time. The weight, didn't think about it the whole time. So I was really impressed with it to the point that this morning I was getting ready to go for my run and I was gonna do a little road run. I almost went back to the trail just because I wanted to run in the shoe again. And that doesn't happen all the time. Like I was really excited about how well this shoe did. And you know, I was kind of given this information that this shoe is really sort of like the Diadora Volo, but wrapped in a trail. And I kind of disagree with that. To me, it's more like the Diadora Nucleo. You know, it has the same drop, it has the same midsole, it has a similar rubber composition to it, but just that really fun, light feel that I really do like with the Diadora stuff. There's a reason why we've been keeping them around here. We've seen we've seen people's interest in the brand growing and growing and growing, and we're excited to be a part of it because our staff here really like this brand, and it's been really fun seeing how like new stuff coming out is just getting better and better. I think they're really heading in a nice direction. And this shoe was their first real step into some premium trail stuff. This is the only true trail shoe they have in their lineup right now. It doesn't come in widths, but for me, even though I have a wider forefoot, and I'm going to compare this shoe to another popular shoe out there in a moment, but I have a hard time sometimes finding a shoe in a standard width that gives me enough width. And this shoe having such a tight fitting overlays to it, and even aesthetically, I was like, this is gonna crush my foot. I had no width issues whatsoever with this shoe. So some of the stuff that I even concerned about really just went away once I was able to go put some solid miles onto it. And if I was gonna compare this shoe to something that we carry on our wall here from another popular brand, you know, at first I was in my head, I had a shoe that I thought this compared to, but quite honestly to me, it reminds me a lot of the Hoka Mafate Speed 4. It has a midsole that's more bouncy. Theirs is more similar to like a Hoka Mach. This is more like a Diadora Nucleo. It's got a little bit heavier feel to it, just like that shoe does, but boy, does it perform great in all aspects out there on the trail. So I give this, you know, whatever you want to call it, 2 thumbs up. I just really enjoyed this shoe, and I hope you will too. For $170, I also think this shoe will be able to really take a beating out on the trail, because we see that a lot of the other Diadora stuff is they really put a lot of thought into the durability and the materials that they source for their products, and this should be nothing less than a nice, durable, long mileage shoe. And because it does have some heft to it, like this could be a total shoe that you can go out and do a 50K or longer in, or it's fast and light enough, you can go out and do, you know, 6, 10, 8 miles and pick up the pace and feel great in it. So check out, we have a link down below if you want to purchase this fine product. And if you have questions on it, feel free to leave them down below and we'll get back to those as well. If you found this content exciting and helpful in any way, do me a solid, like and subscribe. It certainly helps us find new people out there. And hey, if you're in the greater Westminster area, stop on by, say hello, and check out this shoe and some of the other fine shoes we have on our shoe wall. Thank you so much. Happy running, and hopefully we'll see you around town.